What's up, everyone? It is I, Adam Prime, and we are back with a very packed This Week in Toku. We have, weirdly, I can say 3 shows? 2.5?
2.5. I'd say 2.5.
2.5, 2.25?
2.5.
Yeah, I guess. In This Week in Toku. And we have some news that we will actually be talking about because we have some speculation. The character has not shown up by this time in the recording, but we will get to that after we're done talking about King Oger.
It will be involving like magazine scans and stuff, which is not something we typically cover, but it seemed interesting enough to bring up.
Well, yeah, then it's like there's so many theories of what we're gonna talk about. If you already don't know what we're talking about, come on.
You'll see
I bet
it.
you he's
You will
debuted
in
by
a
the time
second.
this comes out.
I mean, yeah, probably
Like,
at this point.
I find it
But
really...
how far behind we are.
Someday I'll get back to
We'll be
being
caught up
concurrent.
at some point.
If only...
It'll probably
Life.
only get worse once I almost said Decker gets on
Blazar.
here. Blazar? Is that his name?
Blazar, yeah. It's B.
Cardigan?
Oh, my favorite Ultraman.
Ultraman Cardigan.
Ultraman, like a
Slightly chilly outside.
Ultraman T-shirt. Oh wait, that's the dad from Rube.
Buy our toys.
Buy the shirts.
Buy our shirts.
Buy my shirts. Oh my god. But yeah,
So King Oger.
we'll get into this. So we pick up, and this is the epic fight of Reculus and Gyra.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which, this episode was a ton of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we open up, and it's literally just Rita saying, 7 days. 7 days!
I feel like Rita, if they were to try, would be a very terrifying, like, Grudge or Samara.
Yeah. 7 days, they'll fight, they'll do the thing to the death, and...
They'll do the thing to the death.
Yeah, where it's like, they'll do a battle for their honor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, it's trial by combat. That's what they're doing.
To the death.
Well, yeah.
Really
knowing Reculus, you knew he wasn't gonna not kill Gyra.
Whatever. Anyway, you noticed something in the intro that we hadn't brought up.
Yeah, those little spiders from, like, King Oger's chest are just hanging out on, like, just hanging out watching them as they fall through, like, the trampoline. It's just, like, they look like, they're like, oh, what are you doing down there?
You guys, what's up?
Hey, what are you doing? And it's like, they're just so cute. Like, look at them.
They are very
They're
cute.
cute.
You got so excited when you saw that.
I love how much personality the shoe gods have. It's so good.
Cute little bugs.
And we immediately have, like, people for and against Gyra. So you have the Gyra did nothing wrong party, which is just the orphans. It's literally just the orphans. And you have our favorite, like, whatchamacallit, the villager guy, like the one that we've been seeing a lot. Like, he starts trying to broom the children away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, the head knight, or Reculus's guard, I'm not sure, what have we been calling him?
Oh, Lumiere.
Oh, yeah, Lumiere. Someday we'll find out his name.
I love that we just can't help but give just the most random characters stupid names. And then just never stop calling them that.
Like,
I wonder if we've, like, cursed anyone else to think the same thing if they watch it week to week, or if they're behind or something.
yeah.
I'm so sorry if that's you.
If somebody, you're gonna, like, be talking to your friends about King Oger, and you're just gonna be like, oh, yeah, Cogsworth.
You're talking about Geats, and you're just like, anyway, so Lord Reginald.
He's my favorite. I love it when he turns into Gazer. And somebody's gonna be like, what?
I only recently had remembered his name was, like, Nimaru, and not Niramu or whatever, because, like, I forgot that that just wasn't his name.
Yeah. That's
We've been calling him that for so long.
Well, to be fair, it's like, we didn't get his name for a long time, and it's been a while since they've said it.
It's like, no, it's not his name anime. His name is Lord Reginald.
Well, they always just call him, like, the producer.
And it does weirdly fit. If you like, the more we've seen of him, the more the the stupid...
And we will get to him later.
Stupid names work.
We'll get to him later.
We will definitely be talking about a lot of Geet stuff later.
We just see, again, the orphans are just...
Gira did nothing wrong.
Yeah, are doing the Gira did nothing wrong party.
And one villager guy tries to...
Oh, yeah, wait, yeah,
I
forgot. Okay, I said it. So we go to Lumiere talking to Reculus, and he's just like, hey, are you sure this is a good idea? Like, is this really worth it? And Reculus goes full fucking crazy psycho of just being like, he's like, do you really think I fucking could lose? Do you really think you're gonna, like, I want your advice, fuckface? Shut the fuck up. You're just paid here to watch me. If I want my dick sucked, you'll get my hoe. We are 5 minutes in, and I'm saying this.
I was about to be like, maybe you should calm down. Do you need a timeout?
I blame Reculus, because that's the energy.
You want to go sit down for a second? Think about what you did?
No.
Alright, but it's funny. What I was going to say, another thing that I could actually link to Lord Reginald in this situation, I have to just commend both of the actors playing them of just beautifully playing just an insane asshole. Like,
yeah, who knows he's on top at the moment.
Like, obviously, they're different versions of that, but, like, Reculus's actor just can... Amazing facial acting in this show in general.
And we then cut to Yama, and he's in his kingdom, and he's riling the troops for Gyra. He's like, oh, fucking, who's gonna kick Reculus's ass? And they're like, oh, shoot, we gonna rise. And, like, they have their burning flag behind them. Like, he's getting the boys. The boys are getting ready to come back in time. The boys are gonna be back in town. And it's like... oh my god, I realized this, because the first time we watched this, there was a little bit of a twist later, and we'll get to it, and I never noticed he said this, and it's, I'm not the kind of punk who runs into a 1v1 fight.
Oh... I wouldn't have noticed that. I haven't watched this one a second time. And the Geets episode I did watch twice, but, like, it's been, like, a week.
But, like, it's...
So interesting.
But he says that, and all of a sudden we find out he's then conspiring with, Himino and... I don't know B's name yet. B-Man.
You can either call him Black or B. It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Black B.
And we pretty much see that they're all conspiring together for something. They're in, like, we do technically, Himino is just like, be the fuck quiet. I'm like your neighbor. Shut the fuck up. Which is funny because it's like, we see the map later and they seem way further away for them to hear him in their kingdom.
Well, they're on a globe.
That's fair.
His kingdom and her kingdom are technically right next to each other.
And they're technically on Skype, which is funny. They're just on Skype with Rita. So it's literally the four of them doing that. And, we can't, and, like, they're ultimately like, hey, we don't know if we like this idea because we don't want to lose King Oger and everything. We don't want Reculus to just own it. And we pretty much find out that, like, Kuwagata, or, like, I don't know if they're meaning, like, the castle... which we all know that's going to be a robot, right? I don't know if they're meaning, like, the castle or something, but they said, Shugadams, Shugad was the only one that could have prevented the wrath of the gods 15 years ago. And, like, and she's wondering why they weren't helping, like, why they did nothing back then, which I think is a very interesting point, because, should we bring this up now? Because we're just at the disaster kind of thing, that Gyra's kidnapping happened 15 years ago? We'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that.
Is there an opportunity to talk about this again later?
Yes, it's going to be brought up again later.
Because I did want to talk about that,
like,
so...
Like, that's what Himino is telling B, and, like, B is just like, hey, the past happened. We just have to live on and everything. And so it's like, you don't really see him with the disaster really being that upset. You know what I mean? Like, he's not, like, being like, oh, the wrath of the gods was this terrible thing. He's just like, hey, we're good now. That's what matters. Which, you know...
Again, such an interesting character, that one.
We will put a pin in him, too.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the Bug Nyark, and Death Nyark is pissed. he is very upset with the bookman.
The librarian.
And he's just like squeezing the shit
bookkeeper.
out of him. And he's just like, I'm not going to trust you to kidnap Gyra. Your plan is
His
stupid.
anaconda don't want none unless you got bugs, hun.
Oh my god. And that was terrible.
I'm so sorry. Once I thought of it, I was just like, I have to. I'm required by law.
That's terrible. But like, yeah, he's just mad. He's like, you keep letting our treasures go. You're a fuckface. I'm just gonna kill you. And then suddenly another one of him appears, and it turns out it's the monster of the week that can disguise itself as other people. And it's just kind of like, I'm everywhere and yet nowhere. I'm
strange, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, he's like, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I don't even know what kind of bug he's based off of. I'm not quite sure. And then we cut back to Himino and B. I keep switching. I keep wanting to try to think of his name, but I can't. and they're just like, hey, we just found out that somebody took advantage of Scorpy. And he's just like, what?
Scorched peanuts?
Yeah, he keeps saying it wrong. And he's like, she's like, God, Scorpion, you idiot. And she's like, I'm gonna find out if their venom is the same that killed my parents. So we find out that's 100% a match and everything. And she's just like, oh, somebody took advantage of Scorpy to poison her parents. Which, by the way, that was the most obvious, like evil guy ever. It's like, oh yes, all of us dressed in almost perfectly white. You, man, in black cloak hiding your face.
Here, man, mysterious man in a black coat. He's just wearing a can.
A sinister black cloak.
A black Coke. He's just wearing a soda.
He's just wearing a soda can?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's a Coke Zero.
Sugar free.
But yeah, no, like, so we find out that's, like, somebody obviously had to mess with Scorpion, which is probably what made them lose faith in humanity. I think that's kind of also what they're alluding to, is, like, whoever did this is, like, the reason Kabuto and, like, Hopper...
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of, like, that being the reason that they wouldn't trust humanity, but that does make sense. Also, is that a picture of the toy I'm realizing?
I don't think so. Maybe? I don't know. We have the,
I don't know,
the
like,
toy right here.
The claws look a little bit shinier, and I don't know, it just looked more plasticky.
It's like a CGI thing.
Okay, never mind then.
And that's pretty much what Himino and B kind of deal with. That's the ending of their scene. And then we have... Before this, we had an intercut between Rita just being like, hey, Reculus, what do you remember from 15 years ago? Because Reculus and Boshamir... Oh, wow, Boshamir. I think Boshamir is
Boshamir.
Boshamir is Cogsworth.
He doesn't deserve a name like Boshamir. He's fucking Cogsworth.
He looks like Cogsworth.
He looks like Cogsworth.
Just minus the mustache. Put the mustache on him. Perfect. Like, Boshamir sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I summoned Boshamir!
Or like something in, like, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, it's Boromir's brother, Boshamir.
Oh yeah, it's their, like, second cousin or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And...
You didn't remember Boromir's brother's name, do you?
Isn't it, like, very similar?
Yes. Do you not remember what it is?
Isn't it like Vormir?
No, it's like Faramir, if I remember correctly.
Oh my god, dude. I already hated
Vormir, Faramir, and Boshamir? What was it? Boshamir.
Boshimar?
Let's move on.
And, like, she's just trying to find out, because she's like, hey, if he has to face trial before your trial by combat, if you give me this information, so we can get you out of this. Because she's like, how it was done wasn't fair, which I do glad that she acknowledges them holding up the orphanage for him to accept the battle was bullshit, because that also felt very out of character at the end of that episode, you know what I mean? Like, because we're like, why would Rita do that? That doesn't seem like in her, like, in their personality type, to really hold up a bunch of children. Like,
yeah, I was
they are the
wondering
judge.
why. I was wondering if there was going to be a reason why. And I figured this is when they would give it, but it actually turns out it's just like, no, that actually wasn't fair. And I kind of almost like that more.
Yeah, where it's like, it's not revealed. They're like, this was all part of our plan. She's like, they're like, but.
Mm-hmm.
Either way,
you weren't given a chance to say no, really, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, Rita's trying to figure it out real quick, but obviously, Gyra, doing his Gyra thing, just says,
throw a chance away to beat the shit out of him.
Fuck no! Yeah, just starts laughing like a motherfucker. He's ready for it. He is ready to go to town. And we then get B talking to Reculus and gives him the scorpion poison, because we see him literally murder a koi fish.
It made me so sad.
They didn't actually kill the koi fish.
I know, but like...
Maybe? I don't know. They did CGI it blue for a second, so I don't think they actually killed the koi fish.
It just goes belly up, and they're like, oh, oops.
They could have gotten a dead koi fish. Oh, God. Did they kill the koi fish?
I don't think they actually... It was probably just CGI. If anything, there wasn't a koi.
Yeah.
In the parts where it was, like, the black parts of the water were, like, creeping in.
Yeah.
I doubt they would... They can't have... Adam.
By the way, the reason...
They can't actually harm an animal on screen.
That's fair.
I don't think they would.
But,
I would hope not.
Yeah, B's whole thing is like, hey, Gyra's gonna fight dirty, so why don't you fight dirty, Reculus? I'm gonna give you this poison.
Like, oh no, it wasn't even that, like, oh, he thinks he's going to fight dirty. It was because, like, he was like, oh, you would be so much more confident if you were absolutely sure you would win.
Yeah.
So you obviously aren't 100% sure you can win this, why not fight dirty?
So we have Chekhov's poison now.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now aware of that. And we will come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
And they start broadcasting this fight. And both people are stating what they want out of the battle. Like, Gyra says he wants the throne if he wins. And Reculus is like, scrub Gyra from the family.
He's not a part of the family.
Yeah, exactly. He's not hasty.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see our first glimpse in the show of Okuaga Oger, which is just a silver...
I love how you can remember but not one of the main characters' names.
It's like, I don't...
At least I don't remember both. At least mine's even.
What? It's easier to remember. They all are called the same thing. It's easier, trust me. I understand this.
But to be fair, you do long videos.
Yeah. So we do...
I'm sorry. I'm a child.
We have not Reculus. Rita getting picked up by 3 of the guards who... But I didn't...
Bum.
Yeah, so...
They were the other guys in disguise.
Yeah, it's the other 3 in disguise. All of them are wearing the helmets. I like that Himino is even in one of the guard uniforms.
Honestly, gotta say, they all look really good.
Yeah, they all look good. By the way, remember, Yama's in the guard uniform, and you find out that this was Himino's plan that she calls Operation Gyra is Mine, and she put the whole plan in motion of trying to use the poison and everything, so she gave a fake poison.
It was an anesthetic.
Yeah, it was an anesthetic, so they could take Gyra's, like, quote-unquote dead body, and then they suddenly get to steal them.
This is all with, like, a puppet show, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's on this cute thing where they're just kind of fighting.
If you guys are people that don't look at the screens too often, I'd suggest it's pretty funny.
The faces of the people on the helmets.
Yay!
Like, it's so good. It's like, I like the little, like, I should be playing, like, the Final Fantasy like, the Final Fantasy Win music, like, the... And...
It was beautiful. But,
yeah, then B is immediately just like, so wait, which one was the poison?
I put a big label on it. Uh-oh. Here's the thing, by the way, why do they even have the poison with them at all?
Because first, he had to show it was real.
So he just killed fish? That's not cool, man.
When you live in a fantasy realm and the person you really don't
I
want to...
get it.
They had a plan, and he was willing to do it.
Either way, why did he bring it? Why do they have one, is the thing. Of like,
Also, do you like that they actually added a little thing on his cape so he could have his poison?
Yeah.
Violet poison?
I was expecting it to be, like, on his sword or something. I wasn't expecting him to just fucking, like, jab him in the fucking neck or something, like the other guy.
Oh, wait. Just don't worry.
Oh, I know.
I have to say, B does give one of the dumbest facial expressions ever.
So good.
And
so
everyone
good.
else's facial expressions are great, also.
Again, a lot of good face acting in this show.
I like how, like, he's part of the team, but he's not part of the team. But Yama and Himino are just trying to, like, make sure Gaira makes it out of here.
Yeah, and they're just like, God damn it, pick a side, why don't you?
He's the wild card, man.
He really is.
Like, literally him giving him the poison is being the ultimate wild card in that moment, right?
Right.
Like, he's just like it's like what? You gave him that on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? You know he didn't actually be like, I don't know which one. He's like, well, I'm just gonna give him the fucking real poison. See what happens. And we then start, like, Reculus and Gaira are just, like, trading blows, and, like, they just get, like, he just chucks Gaira into, like, a canyon or, like, a quarry, and...
Because, like, they've been fighting for a while.
And he asks Reculus, why is he not laughing?
Oh, wait, I guess this is what I was thinking of earlier.
Yeah, he's like, oh, why aren't you laughing? And he's just like, what? And he's like, if you knew you have every chance to win, if you knew I'm beneath you, you should be laughing right now, because you know you can kill me.
And you're not.
He's like, and you're not. He's like, you're still afraid of me. And it's just like, all this, like, comes together. He's like, you were afraid of me now, and you were afraid of me 15 years ago. And Reculus pretty much does the regular response of being like, you don't know what you're talking about. And
to be fair, that I did fucking, like, when I heard him say that, I was like, oh shit, like, you know that cut deep.
And then you get to see both helmets next to each other. It looks so cool.
So good.
Again, he's like, I was a mere child, and yet you feared me. And it's just like, he knew.
God damn, it's good stuff, man.
Like, and he's just like, he's like, oh, he's like, because he asked him, he's like, oh, what happened 15 years ago? Was I kidnapped? Was I actually kidnapped? And, like, Reculus doesn't really say anything about it. It's like, he just dodged the question and everything. But it's like, this is where I wanted to bring it up. So 15, we'll get to the fight, and then I'll get into my little thought of something, of maybe why, like, Kuwagata, whoever, Shugadams, whatever.
Red Kingdom.
Their kingdom's god didn't help with the wrath of the gods, could be something related to Gaira. I'm curious. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but, like, we'll have to see. We'll come back to that in a second, because we get this epic fight, and, like, Gaira's ready to just take the blow. And I can't remember. Does Reculus just block it, I want to say?
I don't remember. Also, he's giving the blow, not taking a blow at him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's just, like, reeling back, jumped in the air. He's ready to slice down on
He's really ready to block there.
I don't know.
He's really ready there to take a hit, huh?
Hey, I didn't use my words right. That's all you have to say. And then Yama runs onto the field in regular garb, calling Gaira his best friend. And Reculus wastes no time just to stab him with poison. And you see him dying. He's dying
a little
in
too
Gaira's
real.
arm. Yeah, he dies like what's-her-face's parents, and just kind of like poison skins.
Yeah.
And you see that everyone in the village is watching, and suddenly the camera turns, and Yama walks back on the screen, very confused on what's happening.
In that guard outfit, so you know that's him.
So yeah, you know that's him. And then you see the Bugnark. He's disguising himself
because he could copy people, and copied Yama. And what the thing that you pointed out earlier, Yama would never run into a one-on-one.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was Chekhov's catchphrase.
Yeah, they really laid the breadcrumbs way more than I thought they did.
And like this had to be orchestrated because like they made this where all the villagers are all like, "Oh, he really is siding with the Bugnark." Like,
yeah,
like, Regulus or somebody orchestrated it to look like this. Like,
absolutely, yeah, it was done on purpose, 100%.
Like, and like that's where we actually get to see, him distracted. He kind of pushes him away, and I think this is where...
Because everybody thinks it's like, oh, he's siding with the Bugnark. Look, he's like upset over it being hurt or whatever.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, god damn it. This makes me look really bad. And all the other Bugnark, the little maggot guys, are all hanging out. They finally bust out, and we see the others just start fighting him, and right away... we see everyone just distracted by the grunts and everything. So Regulus then finally just takes the final blow and just
hits the final blow.
I keep switching gives and takes in my brain today. That's weird. Like he just launches Gaira off a cliff and he just falls.
And you would think, oh, a bug is gonna swoop in and grab. No, he actually just falls. He actually falls off.
Yellow has to heal him.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in the Gaim quarry.
Oh yeah, it is that.
Like,
that is the same location, isn't it?
Like that's where the overlords were. If you go a little bit to the left, you might find the wall that Sid got murdered in. Do you remember? All that was left was his bowler hat. So there's a bowler hat somewhere in those leaves. I'm telling you. And by the way, B walked off and was wandering the castle. He was not in the fight at all. And you just kind of see him go up to the gears and be like, groovy. And at the end, because there were giant Bugnark coming, and everyone, like, Regulus was about to summon King Oger, but God Hopper kind of just cliffhangs the episode and just murders the giant Bugnark. And that's just kind of it. So, what did you think?
Again, like, it's on, like, the second watch that you notice how much they set up all those breadcrumbs, leading to, like, the twist of basically what happens. Because it, like, surprised me when I watched it, but now I'm like, no, it was there. Of us.
Because we were both like, holy shit. But, like, I like how it was, like, until we, like, paused and we were like, wait, did that actually just happen? We're like, wait, why is he in his old outfit? You know what I mean? Like, in his, like, normal outfit when he was in the guard outfit. But yeah,
I got worried for a second, though.
Yeah, but, okay, 15 years ago. Like,
okay.
I'm not sure what happened, because we can obviously see that some human made it happen.
Yes.
Like, maybe it's the past king, maybe it's whoever, we're not quite sure. But we do know that, like, one of the gods from the First Kingdom was, like, could have stopped it all.
Yeah.
And we know that Gaira was kidnapped 15 years ago. And at first I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe... Until I realized and remembered that I'm like, oh, wait, no, somebody caused it themselves. You could see that the Wrath of the Gods happened because somebody said, kill them all. And I was actually thinking, I'm like, oh, what if this was the Shoe Gods reacting to Gaira being in distress while being kidnapped? And they were just like, oh, fuck, we gotta find him. Because it's like he didn't know he had the ability to speak to the Shoe Gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like he unintentionally did it. But it's like, oh, maybe that's what was distracting Kuwagata or somebody at the time.
Another one of my theories was, what if, like, they caused this huge panic and this disaster as almost like a distraction for him getting rid of his brother somehow, and also probably killing his dad or parents, I imagine.
If that wasn't his dad, because it could just turn out all the kings of
yeah, because it's like, oh,
suck ass.
Yeah, it just, something.
Yeah, I'm very interested. Like it's very odd that it's very convenient that both events happened 15 years ago.
They have to be linked somehow.
Yeah.
God, I had a thing I wanted to say and I don't remember it.
But it's really racking my brain, and I think it's very interesting that we have this like Wrath of the Gods thing to kind of chew on, to just be like, okay, what happened? I almost got into our little bit of news, but I forgot we have the Reculus special. This was a 9-minute special that I think was put on YouTube, I think, and it's the King Reculus's secret. And yeah,
We get this really cool map of like the
Of the
planet
kingdom,
and the
yeah.
kingdoms.
yeah, we get the like a proper map, and this one even says that this is Shugadam's evilest king. It's in the title card, so if you didn't think he was a villain, the
If you
show
didn't think
just
that
called
before.
him it.
And it's funny because and we'll probably get more into like our feelings, but like a lot of people we've seen
Not
feel
even a lot. I just saw a few.
like people see Reculus almost as like an anti-hero in this.
I don't.
I personally don't either, but like I can
He's holding somebody for their
yeah
execution.
yeah, let's get into that actually.
So yeah, we pretty much find out that Reculus has the Ojicalibur Zero, which in this special we find out was the first sword made. It was the original sword made for the first king, and it's been passed down generation to
Which is
generation.
actually which actually wasn't something I was expecting.
Yeah.
I thought that was like, oh, Reculus lost his sword, so he needs a new one, and he built a new one where it is just the one. But that was actually really cool to hear. And didn't you mention like, oh, what if there only was one sword? Because I thought, oh, they all had one in each of the kingdoms, and maybe some of them got lost to time or something. But
Yeah, well, my thought was, because we found out like this was the first one made, and then the others were made in it. Oh, I burped. Were made in its image. So, it's one of those things where I think we're gonna get more story details, because I know I've heard some rumors of what all the Zero stuff could be, and it's kind of pointing towards like
I meant more of like when you said that, oh, there aren't any other versions of that.
No.
The other swords actually
like
were like made after. There aren't any other versions
Yeah.
of that for the other kingdoms.
yeah, no, that's
was
like
more what I was trying to.
Yeah, it's the only one that's out there, because I feel like the first king was maybe also a dickbag.
Who knows? Probably.
And we pretty much meet. I think her name's like Vidalia. It doesn't really matter. We'll get to that in a second. And she's just eating a bunch of candy, and
like
she's
how
just
you're
not-
messing with a candy wrapper right now.
and she's pretty much telling Reculus, "Hey, so I don't know how long my research is gonna take, but the closer I get to the end of it, the closer I am to dying, right?"
Yep.
And he literally says, he's like,
Not
"Oh,
even trying to hide
you
it."
will be executed." He's like you will die, and I will make sure you die. So now show me King Oger Zero, so we can now have a new premium toy that everyone wants to buy, everyone's favorite marketing ploy. And so
Jesus.
yeah, I'm only mad because I know I'm gonna have to buy it. Like, look how nice those colors are. It's just the head, and look at how good that is.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Are you gonna deny me that?
No, I'm not even gonna try.
Like, it's very interesting. It's one of those things where the special kind of gives you a lot of information, and I guess you get to maybe see his first transformation as Okuwaga Oger, like properly in timeline and everything, because we suddenly see Vidalia researching and everything, and suddenly like you notice when she touched, I think that she did something of like wiping something of Reculus off his face.
I think he got a scratch and she wiped the blood off of it, or she wiped his sweat, if I remember.
Yeah, I can't.
But
quite
you
remember.
need to have like, because this is specifically a monarchy that runs down in a family, you have to have their DNA in order to use
Yeah.
this sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is something obviously that isn't a thing with the other swords, as far as we know.
Yeah, and well, outside of just being the like the right of the monarchy of like in general, but like this one, I think you need to have their blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, so if their kingdom was overthrown by a different name, you couldn't use the sword, I would say.
Which I imagine was probably done on purpose.
Mm-hmm. And because it's like he was saying that as he was looking at King Oger Zero, he's like, oh, the Hustody family has been waiting decades for this.
I think it's just Husty, not
Husty.
yeah, it's just Husty.
Husky.
Husky.
He's a husky.
I just imagine that one dog that just.
Oh my god.
Do you know the one?
Huskies just scream, man.
I love it.
And by the way, when she's looking at the sword after it started glowing, when she started to try to touch it with her Reculus sweat sleeve, I guess, I don't know. Like a weird image of Reculus is just kind of floating headless.
Well, to show what is happening, like, oh yeah, remember that you did this? Like,
yeah, I know. I just think it just looked funny. You know what I mean?
So he comes back.
Yeah, because a Bugster's not a Bugster, a
A
Bugnark.
Bugster.
A Bugnark is attacking the research lab. Oh no!
They just start. Oh my! They just start dancing. Peep-a-da-bay, peep-a-da-bay,
Oh my god.
peep-a-ba-da-boo.
Or like a motorcycle race. Motorcycle race, and he's just like, I can't let the other researcher die. You see him literally.
Yeah, he grabs onto a blade to like protect him, and you're like, oh, is this his kingliness? No, it's for a selfish. Oh, yeah. I just don't want this researcher to die.
Yeah, he's like, I need you to get more information for me, fuckface. And you see the blood on his hand get sucked back up into his body. By the way, I don't have a screenshot of it, but like when he's like going to hold the blade, he's like, yeah, this is my family sword and whatever. And then he literally murders the Bugnark.
Cuts him straight down the middle.
And then
vertically.
You find out it's a Vidalia.
Yep. He murdered a person. And interestingly enough, he calls Rita as just like, I just killed someone. And we see like in the next like short that like he is in like handcuffs. So that will be something that we talk about next.
It definitely will.
Interesting, you know.
But yeah,
interesting stuff.
So I guess here's a little bit of the thing. We have now found out who our 6th King Oger is. And what?
Why must you eat candy while we are literally doing nothing but talking? A hard candy at that.
It's just chilling in my mouth. Why are you bringing attention to it?
Even I can hear it.
Well, now you brought attention
crunch,
to it.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I'm not going to be self-conscious. It's fine.
I love you.
So, we have Spider Kumos. We already knew he was going to be spider-based, like we said. God, making this...
Why would you think that was a good idea?
I don't know. I just really wanted a butterscotch, okay? Okay, back to Spider Kumos.
Is it made out of Energon?
It's an Energon
John
goodie.
Candy? Or...
It's an Energon goodie. Everyone knows you gotta paw weep ground and weep nitty bong, and then you... Are you making fun of the universal hello? That's very rude. That's the universal hello.
I forgot about that. Like, it's so funny.
But yeah, Spider Kumos. We will talk about this eventually. And, we actually went from not knowing his actor to knowing his actor. And we have somewhat of a character description of it.
Is this official or was this?
Yeah, no, it was official.
Okay.
Like their Twitter announced it and everything. But we find out that it's got tarantula, which I guess we just got confirmation of what it is.
And he has 6 legs.
He has all 8 legs.
But he's a tarantula.
Do tarantulas only have 6 legs? Are you real? Do they only have 6 legs? Do tarantulas not have 8?
I'm messing with you.
Okay, I was like, don't do that. That's
Wait, now I'm doubting myself.
I
thought that was a joke we made earlier. If that technically tarantulas have 6 legs or something. I thought you told me that.
No, maybe. I don't know. Look this up. But yeah, so we find out But by the way, it's
I'm doing some research.
that his name is Spider Kumos because it doesn't necessarily have anything that could mean. And this also depends on how it's going to be pronounced, but because
no, they have 8 legs.
Okay, so
fucking making me doubt myself.
You made me doubt myself, so we're even. And the pun for Spider Kumos' name is like spider, and like apparently Kumo no Su is spiderweb.
Spiderweb.
So it's spiderweb, or it could also be Spider Kronos for the king of the gods. So we're not quite sure. The suit looks cool as shit, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I like this suit. Like, it's a nice gold. He doesn't have a cape. He has, like, coat tassels instead. And he looks really cool. And before we get into actually what was said, I kind of want to talk about what we were thinking that what this guy could be real quick before we actually get into what we have as our short synopsis.
Okay.
Because it's like, I was really curious on what they were going to do with this character, just for like a quick, like, we're not going to go in depth to any of these thoughts because we kind of don't think necessarily any of this is what it's going to be, where it's like, oh, is he going to be like a lost kingdom, or like, oh, was he raised by the shoe gods or something?
Or
like,
is he a shoe god that's in a human form?
Full form and everything, which, again, all of these still may be possible, but like right now we do know his name is like Jeremy. I'm not shitting you. And like right now it's stating that he is a descendant of a sixth unnamed hero, and he's a storyteller. And we need to watch out what he says. We need to read between the lines. It literally says this.
I wonder if maybe, like, because, like, he didn't belong to a kingdom, but if he was just, like, a traveling vagabond or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's a descendant of that person.
Yeah, the other person was like, I'm not going to settle in a kingdom. I'm just going to keep walking.
Exactly.
He's not... Oh, my God. He's like the people in the Oregon Trail who are, like, some people just decided, they're like, I guess I'll just stay here.
It's good enough.
People who migrated to Texas. I'm just gonna stay here. Yeah, no reason. I got a couple like tigers I'm gonna just put in this pan.
Tigers. But I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about Mr. Spiderweb?
Again, that his fucking name is Jeremy.
Yeah.
It's just fucking Jeremy. I love the suit. I'm excited to see him in the show. We're not going to see him until episode 12.
I like that the hands touch on the top.
Yeah, it's like he's giving himself a high five. Which, by the way, a bunch of good years for spider suits this year. You know?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
We got, like, demons from a few years back, now that I'm thinking about it. Or a year back now. I don't know. And, yeah, that's King Oger. Do you have any other thoughts on King Oger?
Maybe not at the moment. I think I probably have more thoughts on maybe Geets at the moment.
Okay, do you want to take the lead on Geets?
But no, it's fine. Like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying just popping in.
So So do you at least want to state what happens? Well, Geets pretty much opens up where it left off last week with Buffett being like, "I killed Tycoon. Fight me, bitch." And Geets is just like, why? Fuck you.
What does it matter?
Fuck off. And then pretty much we see the gardener, or the Archimetal, I guess that's his name. And he's just like, I'm gonna kill you, Buffa, and I'm gonna take the goddess's power. Because we find out that like he is just still the farmer. Like he
just wants to grant the Jamato
his wish.
Their wish.
And I think it's very interesting because, like, we were talking about where it's like, oh, they're ran on their memories. So if they eat the human wholesale, they just become that person, I guess.
Eat their human wholesale.
Yeah. And we pretty much see, like, Geets really not knowing if he wants to fight or anything. And he's not having it with the fucking gardener now that he's Jamato. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Zine shows up.
Yep.
Zine was gone, and now he is returned. The prodigy child. Ishinomori has returned. And he's just like, I don't know what your deal is right now, but I don't want to see you lose. And then immediately just takes the laser riser from Geets and just transforms and starts fighting. Until pretty much the end of the bell, and like the fucking biblically accurate goddess of creation was just like, we'll call the next one. Yeah, we're gonna call the next one at noon.
Same time at noon.
See you later.
Baroba's mad because she's like, why would you attack my Michi?
Yeah, like why? And she's just like, He's just like, I never fucking considered him. Fuck that guy.
And he never considered him an ally.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that guy.
And
And,
do you want to get to like Buffa's conversation with her, and then bounce back so we can talk more about what the others talk about?
Her conversation, I guess we could talk.
It's pretty brief.
Well, I want to talk about this little conversation real quick between her and the gardener, because the gardener is pretty much just like, she's just like, what are you saying? Because he was telling Baroba how much she got infatuated with riders now and everything, and he's like, I don't even get what the fuck's up with human suffering. That just must be an old lady thing. And like,
he calls her an old hag.
Yeah, he calls her an old hag.
So I guess she is like just older than the rest of them, which I kind of love.
And the funny part is, she was trying to say, when he said, like, nobody loves the Jamato more than me. That's pretty true, because he did let the Jamato eat him.
Yeah, and he like
now is a
made
Jamato.
them, raised them, cared for them.
Exactly.
Healed them.
But yeah, going to Buffa's conversation real quick.
It's not even like, oh, only the strongest will survive. No, like, when they're injured, he's like desperately like, come on, man, like splashing water.
Make sure you live. Live, damn you!
Because, like, you can't even say that, where he's like, oh, I'm trying to make the perfect Dramato. It's like, no, he just wants them to be happy.
It's like, live, damn you!
Pretty much.
And so, we are going to skip a little bit ahead to something else for real quick. And we go to you want to go to the Buffa Baroba conversation, and he's just being like, I want you to fucking get away from me. He's like, I don't...
Because, like, he even points out, it's just like, why would you threaten him? You're his sponsor. Like, you're sponsoring the Jamato. You're not technically supposed to be sponsoring me. And she's like, oh, I just like that you don't like common riders and you want to fight against them. He's like, no, you enjoy my suffering.
He's like, you like seeing me lose, you fucking bitch.
And she's just like, LOL, you got me.
And he's just like, I like that he's like, what an honest woman you are.
To be fair, that is true. Like, she is just like, oh, if you figure it out, she lets you know.
Yeah, exactly. I like how she has
she's just like, oh yeah, the second, like, you're happy, our relationship is done.
Yeah, she's like, as soon as you win, we're done. We're done, rings.
Like, I just want you to forever suffer, and I want to watch it, firsthand.
And I like that he's just like, just what I wanted.
Like,
Thank God. All right, do you want to get to
all right,
stuff?
so this is where shit gets real, guys.
So Zine looked into the first Desire Grand Prix, the Desagra. And he's like, the
Viagra.
Oh my God. The rules, he says the rules were very different, and the reward at the end was a golden coin.
It was more of like the glory.
Yeah, it was a badge of honor.
And it was more of like a gladiatorial ring of like just like you versus like the other players rather than like games.
Yeah, it's like it even said it wasn't even the type of game where the players fought or risked their lives. Like, they didn't have to die. Like, it just sounded like it was like a trial by like tournament. Like, they were like,
essentially,
oh, like, who's the strongest?
Basically like Dragon Ball fighting tournament.
Like, yeah, it's totally like the Tenkaichi Budokai.
Is it exactly
the World Martial Arts Tournament? And he's like, I guess it also still meant the games and everything, like the standard game.
That's fair.
Because it's like
they
they're
didn't
still killing
necessarily
Jamato,
say that.
and it's like you could imagine that it was, and there might have been more infighting as well, but like there just wasn't any death. Like you never really had to worry about it. They're like, but once the goddess came around, the Jamato got more ferocious, and people just wanted more and more excitement, and he just even says, he's like, I don't even know how your mom became the goddess of creation. He's like, the rules changed. Like,
and if you didn't put it together,
she was switched.
If you didn't put it together, the gold coin that they're talking about is more than likely Geets' coin.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I just want to make that clear. Like, that's probably what it is. But we do have some thoughts on it.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, could this be what's allowing him to have all his memories?
Do you want to talk about that, or?
Well, yeah. We'll wait a little bit, because I want to also add some stuff about his mom as well.
Okay.
So, we then pretty much just, like, that's pretty much where the whole thing ends, and Geets then goes to Lord Reginald, just being like, hey, I'm going to ask her myself. Can I borrow your vision driver so I can go talk to my mom? And he's just like, you can go get the one the Jamato have. You don't get to use mine. Mine only. You don't get to use it. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, why are you being so secretive? He's just like, you get your rewards if you serve world peace. I don't give a fuck. Get the belt back. That's your job. Fuck off.
No, do what you're told.
Yeah, pretty much. And Geets is just like, I'll fucking show you. I'll show you all! And then
we actually follow Lord Reginald, who's having a meeting with Timefire 5.
Oh my god, Neon's dad is losing it.
Absolutely going insane. And I didn't understand it at first, but, like, Lord Reginald brought out, like, sparkling water, and I was just like, why the fuck is he drinking that? And then I realized, oh, like, when he sets it down and you get a look at the bubbles, it's reminiscent of what the goddess did to the people. Also, I was just like, you pompous motherfucker.
Also, he says, because of Baroba, all my years of work are floating away like bubbles. Mm-hmm. He says that. So we pretty much just have him be like, well, once we have the belts out, we'll walk away. It's like the Desire Grand Prix never happened, and you'll love your fake daughter.
Yeah, you'll have your fake daughter, and you'll love her. You'll think she's real. And he's just like, that was not a part of the agreement. That's not why I wanted Neon. Which is like the most fucked up thing you could ever hear. It's like, oh, you wanted this replacement daughter, but definitely not to love her.
And it's just pretty much Darth Vader with Lando Calrissian, like well, I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. I will make you a clown when I leave. Like, oh my god, like that's something you could do. You could just make his life completely different.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I could also make you have a butt fur face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and we pretty much just see.
And it was like, oh, let's see who the goddess favors.
Yeah, is the goddess going to smile upon Geets or Buffa? And the funny thing is, in this conversation, you even get to see Timefire, like his actor. You see moments where you see him go from pure anger to where I think he mentally snapped, because you just see him almost creepily smiling. And it's fucking kind of creepy.
Yeah.
You're seeing him mentally go. He is losing it. He is spiraling down.
Fast.
Like, yeah, it's like, it's a fucking garbage fire. And that's where we get the Baroba conversation we already talked about. And then we go into probably one of the coolest fights the show has had between Geets and Buffa. Like,
so good.
And, by the way, Zine gave him a boost buckle. By the way, so boost buckles still exist. You don't have to worry about that.
There's so many good shots in this fight.
Like, there's too many to count. Like,
and like,
go watch this fight if you can. Just look up the Geets
and like,
Buffa
there's
fight.
so much good cinematography in it too that we talked about, where they
pillars.
use like colors and lighting and angles, like, all to like their advantage to make this just look like such a good fight.
And they're using their environment to their advantage.
Oh, yeah, and, like, you know, you see them playing rough and, like, not playing around anymore.
Like, they're going through pillars, they're ducking back and forth, and, like, there was one point that I thought was awesome. I got a screenshot of this, because I needed to talk about it, where you see Geets was, like, running across the wall with boots, and, like, Buffa literally just grabs him down with the chainsaw sword, with the zombie breaker, just drags him down to the fucking floor, and you see him, like, get knocked away and into an attack, and, like, and Buffa says he wins. He's like, I won.
Because he knocks a...
Yeah, Geets is untransformed, and he's just, like, on the ground. But that
fight
rubble was awesome. Like, there's not enough to really say. Just go watch it.
Even if you're just gonna, like, try and YouTube it. Like
YouTube it. Like, if you haven't watched it, like...
If you have a way of watching this fight, get your hands on it.
Also, why are you listening to this? Also, like, what did you guys think of this fight? Tell me down in the comments. What was your favorite particular part?
Well, all right, let's get moving on though, because Geets actually tricked
he swindles him.
And he untransformed and made it look like he lost on purpose so that he could get a shot in on Buffa.
Yeah, he shoots the the vision driver out of his hand. He shoots it out of Buffa's hands, and he's just like, You pretended to lose just to get the driver.
And Geets is just over his shit at this point.
Yeah, he's like, fuck off. And Buff is kind of pissed.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But we get a very
Absolutely livid.
heart-wrenching scene.
Mother and son reunited after 2,000 years.
And he starts talking to her and just, like, is this really you? Like, it's been 2,000... I've waited all this time just to see you again.
2,000 years just to see you.
And, like, this actor just doing such a good job. So much emotion.
You can see him go from utter shock to literally starting to be in tears. And he's just yelling at what's essentially a statue to just say anything.
And, like, his voice even cracks. Like, it's so good.
It's so good. And then Lord Reginald comes in.
He's, like, clapping like a fucking douchebag. Like, oh, brilliant performance.
Yeah, he's like, now give me the belt. Give me the belt. Now hand me the belt, good sir. And he asks, why is the mom not speaking?
Why doesn't she speak?
And he's just like, oh, she's became a goddess. This is just what she is now.
The reality is a reflection of her mind or whatever. And
well, yeah, there's also...
Geets isn't having it.
Yeah, he was not having it. He's like, bullshit, you're a fucking liar.
I don't know if we have him saying it, but, like, how do you know she didn't want this?
Yeah.
Like, she didn't... Oh, how do you know?
Did she want this? That's what she asked. He's like, oh, like, I think that's what he says when she says, oh, this is just the reflection of her mind or something, was him saying, did she want this? Did she want to become a statue, essentially? And he just yells at him for lying. And then we start seeing the statue start fucking glowing and freaking out, making demon
screaming.
noises. Yeah. You find out that it's crying. Which probably because it just saw its son for the first time in 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And
he discovers that no, she didn't want this.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
She's
so
just
you
being
didn't want,
used.
so you didn't want to just kill a bunch of people and be powered to make fucking new worlds?
And he's pissed. He's like, you are using her like a tool.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, she doesn't want to do this. And he's like, I guess we're doing this the hard way. And they transform in front of the goddess, and then suddenly...
he transports them over to...
like, onto actual Earth. And we get an epic fight between Boost Mark II and Gazer. And Geets has to be the first person to ever have hit Lord Reginald.
Why are you hitting yourself?
Like, literally, like, yeah, he's like, he literally figured out, he's like, oh, okay, you're dodging me with each of your baubles. And he literally, you just start seeing him run and, like, put, like, fire fists on each one. And, like, he just, like, takes the last one and just starts fucking going for it.
Until he literally makes him hit himself, essentially.
Yeah, hit himself because he's trying to block it. And so it's like, holy shit. But then he starts getting Boost 2 fatigue.
And Lord Reginald actually takes this as an opportunity to fucking yeet his ass down a hole.
Yeah, and then Zine, who took a minute, didn't realize he took his gun back, and was like, oh shit, I forgot I had your power up, dude!
Take
dude!
Yeah, and Lord Reginald using, like, his shields as, like, a platform, and Geets,
so
like, using...
his gravity.
Using his gravity thing. Oh, it's such a good fight, because they're, like, in the hole, falling towards that. Oh, it's so good.
This episode had 2 bangers of fights.
Absolutely.
Like,
and Buffa fucking walks up, and he's like, oh, what a joke.
Like, this is bullshit. All we ever were the goddess's plaything.
And Zine, like, can't really do much, and then... Buffa throws something down there.
Oh, yeah.
And you get the funniest oh shit face we've had in a very long time.
We see, like, him, like, launches, like, zombie spray down the hole, and then suddenly Ghost zombie hands grab both Gazer and Geets.
And pull them down towards the hole.
And start pulling them down, and then, yeah, you get the biggest oh shit face for Zine ever, and he's just like, what the fuck am I just happening? And
they actually turn
gone.
into bubbles.
So Geets and Gazer, gone.
And then it's time for the judgment, and she says, oh, the color is all of the colorful colors. And I don't know if there's more. We see at least one, and the only one that doesn't disappear is the black spot. And just you see everybody falling and turning into bubbles.
And, like, And all of a sudden, Zine runs up to Baroba and Buffa, being like, "You created this game so Geats wouldn't fight Gazer. That's why you did this." And Buffa finally is just like, "I won. I win. My win. My win." And like, I was not expecting the sudden W for Buffa, but I'm happy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Maybe I should fear. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, you would think that, they would pull the whole, but it wasn't enough. He's still not satisfied. He's never going to be satisfied. Nah, he is living it up. He's like, yes, my glory.
He's like, I have won. And when he wins, they go to the goddess and they grant his wish. And you see the Jamato return back to life.
Because, again, in this, they were the good guys, so they're the ones that get returned, which is a cool detail that I'm happy they remembered.
So, yeah, and then we get the rule of the Jamato Grand Prix, which was just pretty much the basic rule of the final Jamato becomes the Jamar Guard and is granted the ideal world.
And then it cuts.
Yeah, and we get a new thing called the Desire Royale or Royal. We're not sure yet.
Well, if it's a battle royale, then I imagine it's Royale.
And the only thing we get to see for it is this is a game to defeat all Kamen Riders. So Buffa's in for this game. And we see the original cult leader we saw turn Yeats' mom into the goddess of creation, who we thought was Lord Reginald.
Apparently is not.
No, he is very much his own man.
And we're not going to talk too much about, like, anything else regarding this other than, like, our theories, but I do have to point out in the prequel that we see.
Yeah.
We do see Buffa get a sick upgrade. Like, he's got some big horns, he's got a cape, he's bulked out, and I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. I want
a better power-up, though.
That's fair.
I want a better power-up.
But, so, let's talk about, like, the coin.
Let's unpack about this.
The coin, the mom.
First of all, they had the balls to kill their main character, essentially, right now.
Yeah, both of them.
It's one thing when they game overed. It's another thing when you see him bubble away and you don't know if he's coming back or not. And we have not seen him. He was in the preview. Neither was Tycoon. Like, they're gone.
Yeah, and...
we see their ID cores, but we don't... what does that even mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
And, but yeah, no. So we're gonna get to the coin.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the coin?
It was kind of your idea, so I'll let you lead it a bit.
Well, first things first.
Unless you want me to, but...
well, I was gonna go with my essential thought of, like, so was Geats' dad, like, a Desire Grand Prix champion? Like, is he one of them? And, like, it was Geats' mom who pretty much just got infatuated with this one person who was a past person, and, like,
specifically wanted to have a child with him.
Yeah, and they fell in love and whatever. They did their love story, and, like, their want to have a child, and she accidentally, like, got, like, a mutation of some sort, and she gained this happiness ability. Did she accidentally kill him?
Did she bubble him?
Yeah, did she get, like, bubble him to create Ace? And, like, that's why she told him to forget her face, because he's like, I kind of had to kill your dad to make you. And maybe I feel ashamed of it.
And I know they're coming for me, so maybe it's best you just forget me.
Yeah, it's like, maybe that, and then, like, we've had the thought where, like, and that's why she gives him the gold coin, because that's his dad's.
And that's how, like, it kind of keeps finding him, because it's kind of, like, the pinnacle of both of his, like, parents in some way.
And again, this is only a theory.
And again, maybe that's, you know, his way of not only remembering his lives, but, you know...
just being connected to his past. Like, because we don't know. It's like, we also don't know when he exactly... like, I'm wondering, it's like, as soon as he's, like, a cognizant baby, does he have all his memories then? Like, could you...
yeah, that's kind of what I've wondered, of, like, once you start to, like, actually form memories, like... he, like, wakes up one day. Like, you know the old saying, it's just you wake up one day and you're 5 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's something like that. He just wakes up one day and he's like, well, I've been here before. Like,
yeah, he's like, well...
time to go at it again.
Oh, shit, here we go again. So, Yeah, it's like I'm very curious on what these coins mean because again, they do just say it is just a decoration. It's literally just to say, "Hey, you won." It's a trophy. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't have to die for it. It was literally just to show you're the best.
Yeah.
So
I'm
very
really
curious.
open. I'm really open to hearing anyone else's ideas for this.
Please put your theories down in the comments. What are you guys thinking? If you're in the future, did we get anything right? Like,
I guess we'll have to see.
We'll find out. I think it's very funny that even though we're behind, we're still we're recording these about week time. Except for this one, we're actually kind of behind.
Yeah, like this is the only one where we've actually like, in our time, fallen behind. You know.
Well, yeah. I would say the 2 new episodes are already out.
Well, I guess we'll get to go on this emotional roller coaster all over again.
Well, at least find out what the Desire Royal is, or Royale.
It's probably Royale, my dude. Even if
Japan
they
likes to say Royal, though.
Yeah, but that's not correct in English.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter in Japan.
Yeah, but like, what are we speaking?
I just will say it how they say it, man. I don't know.
This is gonna be an ongoing fight, isn't it?
Who knows? The other guy is just a beak man.
Anyway, we will see what happens in the next.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys next week or whenever I release these.
Hope you had a fun one. Lots of jokes in this one. Lots of fun stuff. Lots
there was
of good
a lot
drama.
to talk about. A lot of
good drama.
Yeah, like
good fights.
We
good
had a lot of King
cinematography.
Oger stuff to cover, but that, to be fair, we also had the Recula special, so
Again,
that's a lot of King Oger.
Yeah, that's like an episode and a half. So if you think about it. All right, so I guess we will talk to you guys.
Wait, I have to ask you something.
Oh, what?
Like, how did you feel about Geets and his mom's reunion?
Heartbreaking.
Like,
what did you think about Reculus being seen as an anti-hero after that episode? Despite the fact that it's very obvious, it's like, oh, he kept someone kidnapped, was going to execute them, killed them too early on accident.
I don't see it too. Like, we're on the same page.
Do you think it's because, some people think he has some sort of sense of honor because he's turning himself in?
No, I think it's because he saved and, like, the sword, like, quote-unquote, I don't think the sword chose him. I think it's because of bloodline thing. Like...
Okay, that's not the answer to my question,
I
though.
know, but it's like, that's what I want to say I saw, where people being like, oh, he tried to save, both Lumiere and the researcher guy. It's like, he was being noble. I'm like, no, he was saving his
selfish
assets.
reasons.
He was saving his assets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't get it. But, yeah, no. Favorite scene from the whole from everything we watched?
I mean, come on! Like, so much good stuff in the
Geets Buffa
It's hard to pick this. It's hard to pick the best scene in just this one episode.
No, the Geets Buffa fight wins this whole week. Like, I could just watch that on repeat.
It's so good.
Fuck, the music video for Trust Last is just another awesome Geets Buffa fight, and that's hilarious to me.
Oh, so good.
We need to talk about that.
We'll see. All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
We've been here for a while.
Thank you so much for listening, even though we were wrapping up before. This is the true ending. You guys have made it. You got 110%. You had to get all the platinum coins.
The movie's over. Go home. All right.
Thank you so much for
Bye-bye,
listening.
guys.
Until next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.